What's going on, everybody? I'm going to introduce you to not only the EVB add-on, but a good compositor workflow. Nothing, unfortunately, over here that says Bloom anymore. That's all gone. But makes sense to have it in the compositor. It's under the glare node, and if you select Bloom, you'll get Bloom. You go with streaks, you'll get streaks. But I'm going to make the add-on available on the Patreon, so that way you can come over, sub up, get that. I've got camera add-ons, hard surface modeling add-ons, I've got beveling add-ons, I got the bevel joints add-on, and some other things, bunch of other things. Got some grass, damage add-ons, stuff that will really advance your workflows, make life easier. That's why add-ons save time. What we want. So you open up Blender, you got this generic workspace. If you come over to compositing and you've got this set up right here, it makes no sense to have the dope sheet right here to me, but whatever. And it's kind of a weak way to work if you ask me. So if we come over here and we drop in a composite node and a render layers node, and we've got any type of render in the background, we can turn on backdrop and we'll have this here. But now you're working with the nodes over this, and that's a no-no for me. I don't like that at all. I don't like the backdrop setup. What I do like is creating my own general workspace layout. I'll bring this up. We're going to do something just a little bit different here because I don't roll like that, and we need to do a shading editor. Let's do another split right about here. If you're using my add-on, the EVB add-on, which I'm introducing you guys to if you haven't seen it, Shift B compositing, pull up compositor right here. Everything's great. And I do have a setup here, so delete that. Now, you don't have to add a composite node when you use my add-on. What it's going to do when you click Bloom, Glare, or Kawahara, it's going to turn on use nodes. So if you're not already in a composite setup, it's automatically going to put that in for you. So you don't have to do all that. And of course, if you are in a compositing setup and you've already got some type of node group here, you can click Reset Nodes. It's going to delete everything except composite. So let's get this thing set up even better. And I think you'll understand why I do this as soon as I show you guys. Now go to the image editor for here. If you want an outliner, you can dub up another one here and throw an outliner in. You don't really, generally speaking, need that for the compositing so much. What we're going to do is go ahead over to the Eevee engine. Make sure you're on Eevee. I bumped up a few things, turned on ray tracing. It's definitely going to make things look good. I like dragging the color management up. You just grab these little dots right here, and this will kind of go wherever you want it to. And you can pull this workspace out. You'll have a exposure setting. You can start messing around with exposure, things like that. And it's not going to show anything, so I have the composite nodes hooked up. But let's get going here. I'm going to delete that for now. I want to drop a material on this, and then we're going to do a few things with it. Now, this material can be like the base. This would be our base color. And we're going to layer this maybe. In essence, we're going to kind of layer this. And I'll add a new material. And this one can be my emission. So I'm just going to click this little spot right here. Actually, I want to go to surface. And I'll just make this an emission. To be anything special. Now, with this material selected, I want to come in here and like grab the area. And do maybe a Shift-Alt right mouse, grab an area, and click Assign. And now we should be able to, with scene lights here, should be able to see the emission. And I guess I did the wrong thing. I had the wrong one selected. There we go. So make sure to click on the right material. And this emission, so we can kind of tell what's going on. Make this like a nice bright orange. Its brightness is all the way up. Just crank up the strength, and boom, we've got an emission. So that's cool. One more thing for posterity's sake here, just for the fun of it. I'll just make a thing. I'll call this glass. I'll call this EM for emission. And I'll call this base. Just like to have things kind of cleaned up. So under glass, we can actually just make a mix shader. And for the first one, we can make that glass. And then for the second shader, we can make this transparent. This is kind of old school Blender 1v1. All right, so with that selected, and then this face, like right here, you could do whatever. You can just have a cube. I'm just going to assign that. And I assigned the base again. There we go. And I do have a light in there, so now I can see that transparent glass working. And you used to get that in Eevee, so that's a real treat, actually. Cool. So now what we want to do is we want to make sense of this workspace. We're in the image editor. We're going to go ahead and pull up Bloom. And I deleted my composite node, so I'll just go ahead and click Bloom. And that's going to add it in. Now from here, you can't see anything. Even though I've got a compositor set up, it says always. It's not, it doesn't have a depth graph update, so you have to come in here maybe and see where it is. It's on disabled. If you just click always, it'll update. And now the add-on will start controlling where that is. And so we can bring that down. And this is how you make Bloom in Eevee Next. Arrow and I over streaks. Boom, that's at 3. Bring it all the way up to 250. And then we can bring it up to 16 and just hit I again. Now we hit play. Now we get something cool. And that's kind of cool. Whatever. You can just kind of play around with how that looks. Now, you're wondering what the image editor is for, right? Well, that's for the viewer node. So if we shift alt left click, you'll have the viewer node in here. But how does this help us? Well, you come up here to the image editor, drop this down. I've already typed it in, but if you don't see it, just type in view to isolate it. If you've got 9,000 images, then this will show up. Now, just keep in mind that this image is direct result of two things: where the viewer node is and the fact of how you've had this rendered. So I'm going to bring back some stuff I had hidden. I've got a lamp here, or a area light, and if I re-render this a little bit closer, perhaps this image will update in a minute. It's not like Cycles where it incrementally shows you how it's actually rendering, but this will jump back over to the viewport in just a second. And as you can see, it is now brighter, and that is wonderful. Now we have another thing in here that if you go under color management, you will see a look. This has been bumped up a little bit. We've got some more things. You can switch this to like grayscale, which is cool. And a guy that works with Blender, forgot his name, he created this, and this is supposed to be true to everything it says. In other words, how the lighting is going to work under the color management, and it's all made by a professional. So if you come in here and click punchy, it's going to be correct. If you come in here and go very high contrast, it's going to be correct. And so you can trust that. However, you do have that set, you will have the option up here as well. You can also click none, and you do whatever you want. High contrast has always been where I've liked to go with it, but I sort of like how the punchy looks now. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. If you want to pick up that add-on, it's on my Patreon. And if you do sub up for $1, it definitely helps in the time that I have to spend producing add-ons and things. Also, if you jump on the Patreon, you jump on the Discord, there's links for all of that. You can request a node group. I'll make any node group of whatever complexity, it doesn't matter. And I can put that into the add-on as a list, so you have the option to select it. And of course, if you click reset nodes, you can go to Koahara and have the Koahara image. And this one's pretty interesting, actually. I don't know that much about the Koahara other than it gives it a kind of a wild stylized look. And don't forget to bring your viewer node in, so that way you can see everything that's going on. And there you go. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Smash that like and that subscribe button. That definitely helps the channel, and I appreciate you guys watching.